Hey guys, Coach Bill Sandell coming to you from Chandler, Arizona. It's another video analysis weekend. I had some great questions. How do you hit an inside pitch correctly? There's so much going on hitting Twitter, and different coaches and different trainers kind of talking about how they would attack, the inside pitch and how to correctly hit it. And I got that question asked to me yesterday: is how do you hit an inside pitch? Because you do see a lot of trainers, even at the pro level, teaching how to flare the ball, how to get your hands inside the ball, and how to flare the ball to right field if you're a right-handed hitter, and obviously if you're lefty, flare to left. But my stance is really simple, and I'm going to post some videos on this video as well. We're gonna look at some video that I posted of a couple students that were learning how to hit inside pitches. I think it's real important to really learn how to hit. There's a small corridor, like 1 or 2 balls inside, that you absolutely have to be early and on time for. Otherwise, if you let it get deep, it's easy to flare the opposite way, depending on who you are.
He just almost coils his back hip longer and creates this bigger stretch and then just unleashes it. Go. Bang. Watch where this pitch is. Watch him pull his hands inside. He never leaks his upper half. It never goes this way where his hands could get a little long and that could tie him up. He is behind everything.
The main thing is not to let the ball get into you so you get jammed or you flare left to right. The idea is to get on time, to create a deep barrel turn, to get on plane, and then obviously get your lead elbow up and in, and then drive the ball. I got a student now plays, one of my main guys plays for the Texas Rangers, and you can't throw him inside. He's learned how to hit that pitch so much that even lefties who face him, he's a lefty hitter, he kills them. He has a deep barrel turn, he gets on plane early, and he just drives the ball. So you're going to see in the next video, I'm working with one of my star athletes who wants to go to UCLA, and he's a switch hitter, but we're strictly working on that inside pitch, and he's getting so good at it. You're going to watch the video, and then we'll come back and talk about the next one, okay? Okay, guys, in this video, we're going to do a split screen, same player, but we're strictly working on this inside pitch. So we're talking about this inside corner that, when you talk to a lot of people, they want to take this pitch and they put a tee up here and they keep their hands inside the ball and they say, hit it this way. Just flare it to, in this case, flare it to left, but if you're a right-handed batter, just flare it to right. I just think we're sending the wrong messages to our kids. Why don't we try to learn how to hit an inside pitch? I think it would be a lot easier to teach our kids how to hit an inside pitch than to just fight off a pitch just because you want to flare it to the opposite field. You're not driving this pitch. And I got plenty of examples of big leaguers that learn how to hit an inside pitch instead of just trying to keep your hands inside the ball on every single pitch and flare it. So let's get rid of these lines. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to go, there's 2 different pitches. Both of them are inside, but I'm going to show you the differences in how the body really reacts and what the structure is. So this pitch is inside. I'm going to put a circle around, and you can see it's inside. 2 balls in at least, and you can see his body positioning as he starts turning the barrel from the backside. Now you're going to see, when you draw a line straight through, now you can see his tilt and how he's getting his hands, his lead elbow, okay? This is the key to hitting this pitch. You can't start at the ball. You can't push your hands to the ball as a lot of people were telling, to do. You got to work your hands immediately inside, which means that lead elbow has to come up and those hands have to go inside, okay? And as you do that, you can see that good connection. And again, his swing orbital follows that pitch. Now he's on plane. Let me clear his line. Now he's on plane, and it's a good solid finish. He's all the way to the backside. He's got his hands coming in. Look at that right there. He didn't hesitate. He got his hands coming in this way, which is going to send the barrel around his body. Look at where his hips are. And then, of course, he's going to hit through the ball right there. There's the angle of that ball going out, and he's driving through that ball. That ball was driven. Now, same thing on the other side. And again, he's working from a grounded position. This ball is 1 ball out, not 2, okay? And you can see the difference in connection. I'll roll this back to connection right here. So that ball is 2 balls in. This ball is 1 ball in. Now you're going to see his shoulders are different. So Now his tilt and his shoulder angle is different. So watch this right here. This is more steep because now he's trying to get that good barrel turn to connection. Look at that shot right there. Just driving through the ball and nice strong finish. The big difference is when you're hitting an inside pitch though, and I tell people this, don't try to flare this pitch to right field or to left field. Learn how to hit an inside pitch. Okay? That ball's coming in, immediately that lead elbow is going to come up. For you young kids out there trying to learn how to hit this pitch, lead elbow is going to come up. Your hands are going to come inside. It's going to start that barrel turn. You're going to get a good snap from the backside. Boom, good connection. There's that deep barrel turn to connection right there. And you can see the ball right here. He's on time. Now look at where his lead elbow is. Okay? If you look at all good hitters, this is the posture they're in. And if they're not in this position, they've either flared it to right or they chopped down the ball. That ball was driven. Solid shot. All right, guys, so you watch that video of Trey Jones dialing in that inside pitch, that small corridor, that small 1 or 2 balls inside. He's really, really learning how to recognize the pitch early, funnel it into his hitting zone, and then obviously get on plane early with a deep barrel turn. He is learning that, and he was taught, get flat through the zone. But again, when you're talking about curveballs and sliders that are moving into lefties or moving away to lefties, you can't get flat to the ball. You can't come over the top and try to get flat. Otherwise, you're going to beat it into the ground, and then you're not going to have a lot of success lifting the ball at all. Now, this kid is just absolutely killing the ball. He's learned to get some deep barrel turn. He's learned to really, really get on plane early to get the head of the bat to his connection points. Obviously, if he's a little bit late on his connection points, he's still going to flare the ball. But in a good way, he's going to have a lot of lift, and it's going to reach the outfield, and he's going to hit a lot of line drives because of it. So he's done a really, really good job with learning how to control his body as it functions into his first movement to connection, generating a lot of whip, sitting back on the ball. We call it negative lean, getting his hands inside, and then creating a lot of balance throughout the swing where he just kills the ball. Okay, now in this next video is another one of my high school students who is going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to see that from the right side. I create a deep barrel turn to connection and then get through the ball so you're not just rolling off the ball at connection. So let's watch this video and then we'll come back. Thanks. Okay, so here's another one of my high school kids. We're working on specific movements, working on that inside pitch. You can see right there we're in a load stride hold position. So basically grounded. A lot of people call it grounded, but we're going to go ahead and scap up here. We're going to be back and loaded up. We're going to be in a good launch position. Bat's in a good position because of these lines. So as we transition through, now you're going to see his hands, his back knee. They're moving together. He's going to work that lead elbow up and in. It's going to start his barrel turn. And again, you have to do that if the ball is going to go inside. And again, because we're working inside here, okay, because we're working in that little bit of corridor inside, we got to work down through the ball, but get deep barrel turn. So I'm not talking about knob to the ball where the barrel never gets started, the barrel lags through the zone. We try, if we push down here, we end up flaring to the other way. This ball has to be driven and pulled the other way. I always tell people, again, there's only a sliver of opportunity inside. It's that pitch right there you got to be early on. And because of that, the rest of the plate, we're talking almost 3/4 of the rest of your hitting zone, middle away, there's a huge portion of that ball middle away. So why focus on something like inside? Why focus on these pitches here, right? If you can't learn how to hit them. Because if you can't learn how to hit these pitches and you just flare them to right, it doesn't matter. Because you still have anything middle out, and that's a huge hitting zone, middle away. So why not focus on what you can have the most success at, which is middle away. But we have to learn how to hit this thing correctly, because I see a lot of coaches teaching this, putting up a tee inside and then trying to get your hands inside the ball and just flaring the ball up the middle or to the right side. And for a lot of people, great. But
But if you want to hit this ball correctly, and again with barrel whip, look at that barrel depth. He's on plane right now. As he turns the barrel and gets through, that ball is just driven through. Look at that extension on this. This is just a high school sophomore. And this kid is just unbelievable when he gets his whip. Look at that whip. Look at that connection. Look at that finish. And unless you're getting that good barrel, deep barrel turn to your connection point here, and you're pulling your hands inside, okay? And you started that process of pulling your hands inside, and that lead elbow goes as well. If you don't get that lead elbow in to start that shoulder turn, that barrel is not going to come around, and you're not going to drive the ball and pull the ball. That's just a great job.
I was able to get on plane early and learn how to create barrel whip, but more importantly, not pushing as he's coming forward in the stance. We've worked with him a lot on how to control his weight shift before he launches the barrel, and he's done a really, really good job of it. Now he's gaining a little bit more weight and strength, but here are the takeaways really when you're talking about hitting an inside pitch. There's two rules of thumb. I mean, you can absolutely teach getting the ball deep and then hitting it up the middle or flaring it to oppo. And really that's what I consider survival mode. That's not driving the baseball. That's if you get beat on a pitch and you have to, with 2 strikes, you have to make a swing or, just to protect or to put it in play, whatever it is. But what we're talking about in this video is how to correctly hit a pitch inside and drive the ball. So every swing you take is on a drivable pitch. And if you're not going to drive the ball, don't swing. Because you're not there to flare baseballs. You're not there to get beat inside and just flare it oppo or have it come off to the bat and have a Texas leader. You're not doing that. So, and we always talk about preparation, having that mental preparation, being on time, and what have you mentioned earlier is that these guys that are throwing good sliders up in the count or get me over a curveball to begin their count, they're putting the hitters on their back heels. And if you know how to hit that pitch inside without pre-shifting to the front side before you launch, if you can stay back, have that adjustability on those pitches, and create an early barrel depth in your swing and get through the ball a connection, right? So when you get on plane, get good barrel turn, get good barrel depth in the backside, then you have what we call adjustability. So if the ball does move, you have adjustability to get your hands inside and do the job. So we also use a term called getting to your 6, where the barrel has to come down and make its connection point, almost like 6 o'clock. Mike Trout is big on that. But the takeaways that we talk about is practice from a grounded position, practice from a preload position, and work that first motion or that launch quickness to connection. And I think once you start understanding what your body's doing, then it's a lot easier. So as you climb the ladder and pitchers go from 70, 80 to 90s, then you kind of adjust to the speed of the game. As always, keep those questions coming. We've had 2 good questions now, 2 weeks in a row. We'll continue to answer your questions. We'll continue to grind and get better. Thank you for your support, guys. And let me tell you something. Just keep grinding and have a great week.
Yes, sir, baby, I'm a boss. They say yes, sir. Shout out to myself, that's my investor. Made another meal, let's run it back like Devin Hester. Pistol in my dresser. Baby, this is silk, not polyester. Yes, sir, baby, I'm a boss. They say yes, sir.